Introduction to Macpherson's Farewell by Robert Burns by Alexander Whitelaw. Written by Burns to the tune of Macpherson's Rant. Macpherson's Lament, says Sir Walter Scott, was a well-known song many years before the Ayrshire Bard wrote those additional verses which constitute its principal merit. The noted freebooter was executed at Inverness about the beginning of the last century. When he came to the fatal tree, he played the tune to which he has bequeathed his name upon a favourite violin, and holding up the instrument, offered it to any one of his clan who would undertake to play the tune over his body at his lyke-wake. As none answered, he dashed it to pieces on the executioner's head and flung himself from the ladder. Scott has erred, however, in naming Inverness as the place of Macpherson's execution. The records of his trial are still extant and have been recently published. Through this document it appears that he was tried at Banff along the 3 hours and convicted of being repute, an Egyptian and vagabond, and oppressor of his majesty's 3 lieges in a bangstree manner, and going up and down the country armed and keeping markets in a hostile manner, and was sentenced to be executed at the cross of Banff, November 16th, 1700, 8 days after his conviction. Tradition asserts that the magistrates hurried on the execution early in the morning, and that Macpherson suffered several hours before the specific time. The motive for this indecent haste is said to have been a desire to defeat a reprieve then on the way. An anonymous article in the first volume of a new monthly magazine supplies some particulars of his lineage and exploits. James Macpherson was born of a beautiful gypsy who, at a great wedding, attracted notice of a half-intoxicated Highland gentleman. He acknowledged a child and had him reared in his house until he lost his life in bravely pursuing a hostile clan to recover a spread of cattle taken from Badenoch. The gypsy woman, hearing of this disaster in her rambles, the following summer came and took away her boy, but she often returned with him to wait upon his relations and clansmen, who never failed to clothe him well, besides giving money to his mother. He grew up in beauty, strength, and stature rarely equalled. His sword is still preserved at Duff House, a residence of the Earl of Fife, and few men of our day could carry, far less wield it as a weapon of war. And if it must be owned that his prowess was debased by the exploits of a freebooter, it is certain no act of cruelty, no robbery of a widow, the fatherless or the distressed, and no murder was ever perpetrated under his command. He often gave the spoils of the rich to relieve the poor, and all his tribe were restrained from many atrocities of rapine by the awe of his mighty arm. Indeed, it is said that a dispute with an aspiring and savage man of his tribe, who wished to rob a gentleman's house while his wife and 2 children lay on the bier for interment, was the cause of his being betrayed to the vengeance of the law. He was betrayed by a man of his own tribe, and was the last person executed at Banff, previous to the abolition of hereditary jurisdiction. Macpherson's Farewell by Robert Burns. Farewell, ye prisons dark and strong, a wretch's destiny. Macpherson's time will not be long on yonder gallows tree. So rentingly, so wantonly, so dentonly get he played to spring and danced round beneath the gallows tree. Oh, what is death but parting breath on mony a blued plain? I've dogged his face, and in this place I scorn him yet again. Untie these bands, frae off my hands, and bring to me my sword, and there's na man in all Scotland but I'll brave him at the word. I've lived a life of sturt and strife, I die by treachery. It burns my heart I must depart and not avenged be. Now farewell, light, thou sunshine bright, and all beneath the sky. My coward shame disdain his name, the wretch that dares not die.